What's up, guys? It's Jack here, and obviously, look, Anderson Silva, Jake Paul happening tomorrow. I don't want to waste your time with no intro bullshit. I know a lot of you guys are excited for this. I broke it down a little bit yesterday, but when you look at it, it's technique versus power at the end of the day. He fought the best of the best, of course. He is the greatest of all time. That era that he had, before he lost to Chris Weidman, I mean, he was unstoppable. He was looking like a beast, but obviously those days are long gone. Those are almost 10 years ago. His recent run in MMA has been pretty bad. He's got, I don't want to say it was terrible, but it was bad. It was, as bad as it can get, getting knocked out, getting finished. But he goes to boxing, obviously he beats up Julio Chavez Jr., and he's been doing well in boxing, and now he's going to be fighting the guy Jake Paul. Jake Paul has been obviously, devoting himself to boxing for the past 5 years or so. Stopped doing the whole YouTube thing and only does boxing. And of course, Jake, he has a massive power. I remember watching that Tyron Woodley knockout and thinking, holy shit, that was really, I mean, I don't mean to at all say put him at the level of some of these top boxers skill-wise, but that was a good knockout. I mean, what else do you want? He was out cold, face first, stiff. I mean, that's as good of a knockout as you're going to get in boxing. However, although Jake has the power and probably speed advantage, technique-wise, it would seem to me that Anderson has that advantage. The biggest concern for me is that chin. He's been knocked out, that he's older. He's 48, I believe. That chin is not as well as it once was. And when you have a guy like Jake Paul that's flatlining dudes, I mean, he knocked out Ben Askren. I mean, Ben Askren, yes, he got knocked out in 5 seconds by Masvidal, but he's also taken a lot of shots in his career. He has a really good chin usually, but when it came to Jake, he fell right over. Jake has shown an ability to improve and meet the competition thus far. He really has not had much adversity up until this point. I mean, Tyron Woodley did give him some adversity, and I thought that last fight was pretty close up until that knockout. But Tyron Woodley isn't really giving you a technique disadvantage for Jake. I feel like Jake had the technical ability in so far all of his matchups. This is going to be a matchup where, and if you're Anderson, I mean, you gotta really stay alive. I mean, when Jake gets tired, we've all seen it, hand position is just off. He's not as he once was. I wouldn't say that he gets so tired where he can't perform, because you see in that Tyron Woodley fight that power is going to be there in round 6, 7, whatever round he knocked him out in. So Anderson is still gonna always have to be careful. There isn't like, okay, let me just wait until that power goes. You're gonna see that lead hand drop a little. You're gonna see, and I've seen him working on it, is work on getting to a point where you're so tired and still having to put those hands up, and repetition, just keep going with it. From what I've seen from Jake in his training footage, I honestly think he has improved a lot. I mean, his hand position is a lot better. Instead of throwing big overhands, I've seen that he's throwing just straight down the middle right hands, probably because Anderson is a southpaw. Also, you're not going to really hit Anderson with a big overhand. I keep getting off topic, but if you're Anderson, you just got to wait until those later rounds, really wait for those hands to drop. And of course, if you're Jake, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, this fight can go any number of ways. I would say Jake has to, like I said, he has to remain, even when he's tired, keep those hands up. It's going to be hard because, of course, those are just bad habits. Nobody says to himself, oh yeah, I'm just going to put my hand down. Of course, you got to keep working on it, and that's something I hope that they work for. I think probably Jake will have the most success in this fight if Anderson is the one pushing forward, because Anderson is a lot better of a counter striker. Maybe Jake is a little more patient in this fight. I think his team knows, okay, look, he's a good counter striker. I'm always like a Jake Paul hater. I'm not a guy that's like, oh yeah, I love Jake Paul. So Anderson has looked as good as he's ever looked in these last few fights, and you can't tell me with a straight face, hey, this is not a fair fight, when you cannot tell me confidently that Jake or Anderson is going to win. If you're going to say to me Jake is going to win this fight, which you can't say because you don't know, because that's just a testament to how this is a fair fight. This is a real fight. This is the first real fight that Jake, I would say, has been in that's been fair. This is a fight a lot of people are counting Jake out, because Anderson has looked so good. So am I one of those people? Who do I think is going to win? I love Anderson Silva. I don't want to see him get knocked out, but I am going with the Jake Paul knockout. I don't think Jake could win a decision against Anderson. I think Jake is going to catch him with something. I think, 24 minutes or something like that of pure combat. I think Anderson is going to get caught with something big from Jake. I don't have total confidence in the fact that he could avoid that power. I don't think Anderson really has that kind of movement like that anymore. I think he's a lot slower in his reactions. I don't think his chin is there. He's past his prime. Clearly, obviously, he's 48. But let's say if this was like some UFC shit, UFC 4, you put all the sliders, all the power to negative. Anderson wins this fight, I believe, like 10 out of 10 times. But sadly, sometimes the better fighter doesn't always win. Sometimes it just comes down to power. And sadly, I think this one's going to come down amount of power. I think Jake Paul is going to knock him out. I don't think he could win a decision. Maybe he could, but I think more than likely Anderson is going to get. I would be surprised if Anderson doesn't get knocked down. So, as much as it pains me to say, because I would hate to see Charles do Bronx and Anderson Silva get finished, my fellow Brazilians, I gotta go with Jake Paul, sadly. Breaks my heart. Maybe I'm just trying to lower my expectations. I really do hope that Anderson gets that big victory and that big rematch probably, which will happen, which will be another big payday for the guy. But let me know who you think is going to win. Obviously happens tomorrow night. It's a solid card. I'm actually pretty excited for it. I mean, that would make it better if Amanda Serrano was on that card too, you know, then that would be a fully stacked card. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Seriously, I want to know your predictions. I want to know what you guys think will happen, what this fight is going to really come down to. Please leave in the comments. I'll respond. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.